Bam! Hey there, everybody, and welcome to basically a video, a long video that's going to cover how to go from basically nothing to making an entire NFT marketplace DApp on Flow. So this is going to be a pretty long video. I hope this is helpful to all of you. If you don't like this sort of content, just let me know, and I'll start doing some maybe shorter videos. I would also like to say that one thing that might be helpful ahead of time before actually watching this video is to go and watch the Zero to Hero flow/cadence tutorials that I've been doing on YouTube, because it'll help a lot with understanding the smart contracts, which is going to be a big chunk of this video, is actually going to be coding out the smart contracts for the NFT marketplace, and then we'll make the whole DApp around it. So yeah, so there's no prerequisites required, except that it might be helpful to have some cadence knowledge ahead of time. Like I said, go check out those videos if you'd like to. They're on the YouTube. But I'm also going to explain all the cadence stuff while we're doing it. So if you don't know cadence, I guess you could follow along, but it would be helpful to sort of go over that ahead of time. Okay, just wanted to get that out of the way. So here we are. We're on play.onflow.org. And all I did so far is I cleaned out this account 01 so that we can start coding our contracts. So the first thing that we're going to need in an NFT Marketplace DApp is a NFT, right? How do we make our own NFT? And so that's what we're going to be doing in the first part of the video. So in order to make an actual NFT on Flow, your NFT has to fit the NFT standard. And so in order to get the NFT standard, let's actually go to github.com/onflow/flow-NFT, I believe it's called. Yeah, and so then we can go to contracts and click on non-fungible token.cdc. And so what we can do is we can copy all of this code that's in here and paste it into account 0x01. Now what this is this is not the NFT contract. This is just the standard that we're going to need to have our contract implement in order to actually be a legitimate NFT on Flow. So there's a bunch of stuff in here, and we're going to deploy this to the playground. You'll see it's deployed right now, and now we actually have to make our own NFT contract that fits this standard. So let's go to account 02. Let's clean this out, and let's make a new contract called my NFT. All right, and so we're just going to add a simple init function here, and let's actually start coding out this NFT contract. So the first thing we're going to want to do is import non-fungible token from 0x01, and so this is sort of just getting the non-fungible token standard that we just deployed, and we're going to have our contract actually implement non-fungible token. Now we're going to get a bunch of errors because our contract obviously doesn't implement this standard yet. So and it tells us that, right? So contract does not conform to the standard. So let's actually look at the standard, and let's what we can do is just sort of glance at it and see what do we need in our contract. So the first thing that we're going to need is a total supply, and we're also going to need some of these events. So let's go ahead and just copy and paste what's actually in here, and we'll put it back into our contract on this side. So I'm going to remove a bunch of the comments because this looks a lot more complicated than it is. It's just 4 lines of code. So let's get rid of all the comments. And so now we have a total supply. And so what this total supply is basically just a counter to see how many NFTs we have created. And we do this so that each NFT sort of has its own ID. So what we can do is initialize self.totalSupply equal to 0. And so this is making sure that our total supply starts at 0, obviously, right? Okay. Cool. And so once we have this, let's actually put these back one. So now that we have this, let's actually go back to our standard and keep searching for stuff that we're going to need in our contract. So the next thing that comes up is the NFT itself, right? And this is obvious. So in an NFT contract, we actually want to have an NFT, and the perfect way to do that on Flow is with resources. And I actually have a whole video on NFTs and making your own NFT, so you can also go ahead and watch that video if you'd like to. I'll link that in the description. But yeah, so we're going to be doing that here. So let's actually go ahead and make our own NFT resource. So we're going to do public resource NFT. And this is going to have an ID field. So public let ID. This is going to be a UN64. And the other thing we're going to do is we're actually going to add a field called IPFS hash, and this is going to be a string. And the reason we're doing this is for later points in the video where we're going to basically associate a IPFS hash with our NFT so that we can put like an image on this NFT. All right, and the other thing we're going to do is we're going to add a public var metadata, and this is going to be a mapping from string to string. Now, the thing is that usually, like, I guess if you're doing this for production, you wouldn't want to have a string-to-string mapping of metadata. I guess you could. It's better to actually map out the exact things you'll need, like a description, a title. But because this video is going to be so long and I'm going to be doing this in segments, I'm just going to add this here in case we want to add anything cool later on. Okay. So now that we do that, let's actually add it in a init function, and we can basically say that we want self.id to be equal to my NFT dot total supply. And the reason for this is because if we're counting already, what the total supply is of the NFTs, it's actually really helpful because we can just use that number as the ID for our NFT. So if there's none created so far, then our NFT will have an ID of 0. And then what we can do is update that and total supply to equal my NFT.total supply plus 1. And so then the next time that we create an NFT, it'll have ID of 1, and then 2 and 3, and so it's a really helpful counter. All right, and then the next thing we can do is actually, when this NFT gets created, we want to take in this IPFS hash. And so we're going to do that like so, and as well with our metadata. So I like to make my variables have underscores in the init function, and then just initialize the IPFS hash equal to the one that we passed in, and also set the metadata just like we did with the IPFS hash equal to the stuff that we oh god, I can't type equal to the stuff that we passed in. Cool. So then we get an error. It says resource my NFT is missing a declaration to required conformance resource interface. Wow, that's a mouthful. So non-fungible token to INFT. So we can actually add that here. So non-fungible token dot INFT. And this is just making sure that, if we go back to our non-fungible token standard, it's just saying that, the NFT resource has to implement the INFT, and the INFT is declared here. Thus, we wrote non-fungible token.INFT because it's in this contract, right? Awesome. So the next thing that we're going to want to do, if we keep scrolling down here, is have a collection. So the standard basically says if you have an NFT contract, it must also have a collection associated with it, right? Because people need to be able to buy and people need to be able to store their NFTs and deposit and withdraw. So let's actually go ahead and make a collection. So public resource collection. And I know I've said this a billion times, but if you're really struggling with following along in the Cadence code, I've done a whole tutorial on this already. So if you are confused, make sure to watch that video because it explains a lot of this more in depth. Okay, so public resource collection, and what we're going to want to do in here is actually add a owned NFTs variable that maps a UN64 to a NFT resource. And we can actually do that by adding this @ symbol here because the NFT is a resource, and so we're storing an array of a dictionary of resources, so you need to have the little @ symbol here. And so to make things, I guess, a little more complicated, if we go to our standard, we scroll all the way down, the owned NFTs dictionary says that it's just like we said, it stores a UN64 to an NFT. However, the standard says that this stores an NFT type, and this NFT type is referring to the NFT that's declared in this contract. And so in order to actually make our contract fit the standard, we have to say non-fungible token.nft. And this basically ensures the type because the other one required that it had NFT type, and so in this contract we need to refer to that NFT type by doing non-fungible token.nft. Cool. And what we can do is just initialize that self.owned NFTs to be an empty dictionary, and we use the arrow syntax here because it's a source resources. Cool. So then we're going to get a bunch of errors that it doesn't implement something. And so the reason it's saying that is because if we go back to the standard, I hate that it scrolls, that it auto scrolls all the way up. That's annoying. But if we go back to the standard and we go scroll down to the collection, you'll notice that the collection implements these three, right? So provider, receiver, and collection public. And so these are all defined above, which are right here. So a collection public, a receiver, a provider, all this fun stuff, right? And so we actually need to implement that in our contract as well. So we need to say non-fungible token dot receiver, non-fungible token dot provider, and non-fungible token dot what is it? Provider, receiver, and collection public. Bam, collection public. You can't even see it because of this. All this stuff. There's so many errors here, but we're going to fix them as we go along, and it's going to look so nice when they all go away. Okay, so resource does not conform to non-fungible token not collection public, it's trying to say. Yeah, so we have to start implementing all the methods that are going to be needed for the collection. So we can actually go and look at that. So if we go to the standard again, scroll all the way down, blah, 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 you'll notice that there's a bunch of functions that we're going to need. So we're going to need a withdraw function, a deposit function, a get IDs function, and a borrow NFT function. So what we can do is let's go implement those together. So let's go back. And the first one we're going to do is a deposit, right? Because the most important part of a collection is that you can actually put stuff in it. So public function deposit, and this is going to take in a token, and this is going to be of type non-fungible token.nft. Bam. It's not going to return anything, and so we're just going to, we have to put this token somewhere. So the way that we're going to do that is we're going to say, first of all, what we have to do is, because this collection is storing NFTs that are of type NFT, like that we have defined, we have to make sure that this token actually is our NFT that we defined here. Because if you think about it, all NFTs on Flow all are non-fungible token NFTs, right? Because they're a part of the standard. And so if we're passing in a generic NFT on Flow, we have to make sure that this is actually the type that we specified. That this is like our type of NFT. So in order to do that, we can actually say token like this, and say token as at what do we call it? My NFT.nft. And so what this does, it's just so sorry. So we actually have to make a new variable here called let my token, like so. Cool. So basically what we did here is we said, we're going to take in a token and we're going to make sure using this as exclamation mark, that's sort of like a force cast, and saying, make sure that it's of type my NFT.nft, so the one that we defined here. And if it's not, it's going to panic and the whole transaction will revert and nothing's going to happen. Cool. So we've done this, and now we actually have to put the token somewhere. So we can do that by saying self.owned NFTs, and we're going to force move the token inside of there. And so we have done this. Okay, yeah. So it's going to complain about this for now, but we can keep going, and the error will actually go away. So we have self.owned NFTs, and we can do at. So the way we're going to store this is owned NFTs is going to store the ID of the NFT, and it's going to map that to the NFT with that ID. So we can do self.owned NFTs at my token.id. And we're going to force move the my token into it like so. Cool. All right. So now that we've done that, this is correctly depositing into our collection. And the only other thing we're going to need is to emit this event that we deposited. So we can just emit the deposit event, and the deposit takes in an ID, which is just my token.id. And then we can say that the to parameter, right? I'm just putting what it's asking for here. The to parameter is self.owner.address. And the reason for this is because the deposit event wants to know who we deposited to, and we can actually get the address of who owns this collection by doing self, which refers to this collection, .owner, who's the owner of this collection, and then .address. Cool, and I actually messed up. We have to put this deposit actually before we deposit the my token, or else it won't know what my token is. Because if we deposit it, then the resource no longer exists in this context. Cool, so that's depositing. So the next thing we're going to need to do is withdraw. So public function withdraw, and we're going to take in a withdraw ID. And this ID is going to be a UN64. Oh, and I also should mention that if you're making your own NFT contract on the side, make sure that you're actually make sure that you have the same names as I do, because the standard, if we actually look at the standard, it actually says that you know, withdraw has a withdraw ID and deposit takes in something called a token, so it has to match this exact naming. It's not just you know, something that I've come up with. Cool. So withdraw is actually going to withdraw a my NFT.nft. Okay, so now that we have defined our withdraw function, what we can do is actually go ahead and withdraw our NFT. So in order to do that, we can say let token, and we can actually bring out the NFT by doing self.owned NFTs at that withdraw ID, right? Because we are actually storing, oh sorry, not like this. So self.owned NFTs.remove. So we're actually going to remove the resource from this dictionary that's being stored, and the key is going to be the withdraw ID. And if we can't do this, then we're just going to say, you know, panic, this NFT does not exist, like that. And so basically what we're saying is that if this, you know, NFT does not exist, then we just want to panic and abort the program. All right. So after we take out the token, you know, this is the same token that we're going to be returning, so we can return it like so. But what we also want to do is, let's see what it's complaining about. So, okay, yes, so that's fine. So then what we want to do is we want to emit the withdraw, because we withdrew this event, and it takes in two things, an ID and a from. So the ID is the token.id that we just withdrew, and the from is self.owner.address. Bam. Oh, .address. Okay, cool. So, yeah, this is all good. All right. So now what we can do is add the other function called public function get IDs, and this function returns an array of UN64s. And so this is basically going to return a list of all the IDs that are in this collection, all the NFT IDs, and we can do that simply by just saying return self.ownedNFTs.keys, and that returns all the keys in this dictionary. All right. So the other function we have to add is public function borrow NFT, and what this does is this takes in, let's actually go and look at it in the standard. So borrow NFT takes in, oh, right here, so an ID, which is a UN64, and it returns a reference to an NFT. All right, so we can go back to our account here and say borrow NFT takes in an ID, which is a UN64, and this returns a reference to a non-fungible token .nft, like so. And what we do is just simply return self.ownedNFTs at the ID, and we're going to return a reference to this as a non-fungible token .nft, like so. Bam, we did it. So this just simply returns a reference to the self.ownedNFTs at that specific ID, and we're good to go. All right, so let's keep going. So this is sort of our collection, and there's some errors here, but these errors will go away once we make the contract actually fit the standard. So let's scroll down, and there's only one other thing we have to add, and that one thing is called create empty collection. So we actually need a function that, you know, allows people to get this collection. So we can add a function here called public function create empty collection, and this will return a collection resource, right? Because we have to have the ability to give users a collection. And we're going to return create a collection, and that's it. Sweet. So what it's all saying is it's missing a destructor field for owned NFTs. So we have to, after the init inside of the collection, add a destroy function, and the destroy function is basically going to just destroy self.ownedNFTs. And the reason for this is because of the fact that when you destroy a resource in Flow, you also need to provide a manual destructor field to destroy all the other resources inside that resource. And so because this resource collection stores a dictionary of other resources, we need to explicitly do that like so. Okay. Also, I think I may have messed up. So withdraw actually is returning. Yeah, so I actually messed up here. So withdraw is not returning a my NFT.nft. It's actually returning a non-fungible token.nft. So that's why we were getting that error. Because of the fact that, remember, inside of our standard, it actually says, our withdraw function returns an NFT, and that NFT is referring to the type in this contract. So then when we do it in this one, we actually need to return like so. All right, so that's our NFT contract. Look, bam, we did it. So we actually, we basically have a contract that officially fits the standard, and it allows you to mint an NFT. It allows you to have an NFT and store it in a collection. Now, there's one other question: how do we actually allow people to get NFTs, right? Because on our platform, we want people to be able to mint their own NFTs and list them for publicly for people to buy. So we actually have to add a function, a public function create token, and this is going to return an NFT, and more explicitly, it's going to return a my NFT.nft, and in here it's going to return create NFT. And of course, inside of the NFT initializer, it takes in an IPFS hash and a metadata. So we have to pass those through. So when we create a token, we're going to take an IPFS hash, which is a string, and metadata, which it maps a string to a string, like so. And we're going to have to pass these through when we actually create the token. So IPFS hash and metadata, boom. All right. So we've officially done it. We can deploy this contract. We're going to get a bit of an error just because the playground can be somewhat buggy sometimes. Yeah, so it's just a bit buggy. But if we go ahead and deploy this now, we'll see that we have deployed a NFT contract that's super, super awesome. So we've done that. All right, so if you've gotten this far, we're like 24 something minutes in. That is great, and thank you for sticking with me so far. And let's keep going. So you're doing awesome. All right. So what's the next thing we're gonna need here? So we're actually gonna need some transactions. We're gonna need to make some transactions to actually mint and be able to store these NFTs. So what we can do is pull up a transaction, go to account. We're importing my NFT, and we're going to basically have a transaction that allows a user to store their own collection. So we're going to log a user stored a collection inside their account. So this is what's going to get printed when the transaction's over. So we want users to be able to store a collection inside their account, and the reason for that is because if they store a collection in their account, they can then receive NFTs, right? So let's, we're running a transaction, and we want the accounts calling this transaction, which is this auth account, to be able to store that. So let's say account.save, and what they're going to save is a my NFT. Oh, oops, I'm on caps lock, and oh my god, I cannot type. My NFT.create empty collection, and so we're going to move that into account storage, and we're going to store that to /storage/my NFT collection. All right, so we're going to store that here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to link this to the public so that publicly people can only deposit into our collection and get the IDs of our NFT. So we're going to say account.link, and what we're going to do is link a type of my NFT. A reference to my NFT collection. And the specific type is going to be my my NFT collection public. Cool. And so the path that we're going to do this to is /public/my NFT collection. And the target here, I know this is sort of blocking, is going to be my storage/my NFT collection. And so the reason for this is because, you know, we stored this in our collection, and then we're going to link this to the public. You know, the target's going to be where we just stored it, and we're going to link it at this path. And the type it's going to have is myNFT.collectionPublic, but we haven't defined this yet. So let's actually go back to our contract here, and we have to add something here. What we're going to add is a public resource interface called myNFT. Called collection public. And the reason we're doing this is because actually in the standard, if we scroll down a bit, you'll notice that the collection implements three things: a provider, a receiver, and a collection public. Now, collection public returns a reference to an NFT. Again, that NFT is of type NFT that's defined in this standard, which only has an ID. So what that means is if we ever want to get, you know, if we ever want someone to be able to get the data like the IPFS hash or metadata associated with our NFT, aka the DApp, is going to need to do this. It can't do that right now, right? Because there's no way to get that ID, because if we call borrow NFT, it's only going to let us see the ID field. So we have to have our own resource interface called collection public, and that's going to have a function called public function borrow entire NFT. And that's going to take in an ID, a UN64, and it's going to return a reference to my NFT.NFT, like so. And so what that means is that we're going to add a new function to our collection called public function borrow entire NFT. It's going to take in an ID, like so. And it's going to return a reference to not a non-fungible token NFT, but a my NFT.NFT. Cool. And the way that we do this is, this gets a little complicated, but we can say let reference equals a reference to self.owned NFTs at the ID as you know, non-fungible token .nft. So just like we did here, and this is going to work. However, what we have to do now is return reference, and we're going to cast it to a reference to my NFT.nft, like so. Okay, and so why is this giving us problems? Why is this giving us issues? So, that is weird. Oh, I see. So the reason it's giving us problems, okay, so I had to think about that one for a second. So the reason it's giving us problems is because of the fact that when you're actually downcasting a typing cadence, aka if we're going to convert it from a non-fungible token at NFT to a myNFT.nft, you have to mark the reference as auth. So in order to downcast it to our type of NFT, we have to put the auth here. All right, cool. So now that we've done that, we can redeploy our contract, because this is our sort of new contract. Oh, and of course, we forgot to actually add that to our list of interfaces here. So we're going to add collection public, like so. All right, so now we can actually, let's refresh the page because it's being buggy, and redeploy both of these contracts. And they are deployed. All right, cool. And this has everything that we just updated. Yep, it does. Awesome. So now you'll notice that this transaction doesn't have any errors, and we can just call this from an account. So we can send this, and boom, a user stored a collection inside their account. Double thumbs up. Woo! Okay. So we're going to name this transaction store collection. Okay. Bam. Now let's add a new transaction called mint NFT. And you better believe it, this is going to mint an NFT. So I'm just going to copy and paste some code here, but just so that it's just like starter code. So don't worry, you haven't missed anything. So we're going to log a user minted an NFT into their account. And so we're going to mint an NFT into this person's account, right? So this person wants to mint an NFT, they should be able to do that. So first of all, what we have to do is actually get their collection. So let us get their collection. So let's say let collection equals account dot borrow. And so we're gonna borrow a type that is a reference to my NFT dot collection, and it's stored at member /storage/my NFT collection, like this. And if we can't borrow it, then we're just going to panic saying, you know, this collection does not exist here, like so. And then what we're going to do is deposit into that collection. But in order to deposit, we need to have an NFT. So let us say let NFT, and this is going to be a my NFT. We're going to call the create token function. And if we press tab here, you'll notice that we need to take in an IPFS hash and a metadata. So in order to do that, we're actually going to need to take in some parameters in our transaction, one of which is going to be an IPFS hash, which is a string, and then a metadata, which is going to be a mapping from a string to a string. All right, boom. And so once we have that NFT, you know, which is created now, we're actually going to store that inside our collection. And we can do that pretty simply just by saying collection.deposit. The token is going to be the NFT. And then, you know, we have to move it into the function because it's a resource, and bam, here we go. So then stuff gets a little complicated. So, you know, we're not going to do this just yet because we're actually going to do that inside our application where, you know, we have an IPFS hash and metadata. And we're probably going to end up changing this in our DApp so that this takes in not like a dictionary, but it'll take in like a description and stuff like that, and then we'll just put it into a dictionary. But that is for another time. So we're going to do that later in the DApp. All right, but basically what we have is the ability to store a collection and mint an NFT. So that is pretty cool, at least in my eyes. All right, so that's that. Cool. All right, so I'm thinking about what to do next. All right, so what we need to do next is actually have a marketplace to be able to, you know, list NFTs. So we're going to list NFTs on a marketplace, and we're going to be using the native Flow token in order to do that. So that means we don't have to develop the Flow token, thank God, right? That would take so much time. Or any sort of fungible token. All we're going to do is, you know, we had to make this NFT, and then we're going to make the marketplace that uses that NFT. So in order to actually do that on the playground, we first need to like import the Flow token here. So we're not going to actually do any of that coding. What you can do is go to github.com/onflow/flow-ft, I think. Yeah, and so we have to go to fungibletoken.cdc and copy and paste all the fungible token. This is the fungible token standard. So let's deploy that to account 3. Deploy that, and then we need to go and get the Flow token. So I'm going to look up like onflow Flow token GitHub. Let's see if it comes up. So, oh yeah, so we click on Flow Core Contracts, go to Contracts, go to flowtoken.cdc, and copy and paste all of this code. And so this is the Flow token that we're going to need. So copy and paste that into account 4. And let's go all the way to the top and change this address to 0x03 because that's the fungible token that we just put inside the third account. So again, we didn't have to do any of this coding. The only reason we're bringing this into the playground is so that when we actually make our marketplace, it's going to know like what Flow token we're talking about. But you know, we don't actually have to like do this. So what's the issue here? It says something failed. So I think it's just being weird. I think it's just the Flow playground being like super annoying. But if we actually like redeploy this, let's see what happens. Is it because of this? Do we have to change this? Let's see. No, so it's still being weird. Oh, so the reason it's being weird is because this is actually sort of like an old contract. So in order to fix this, you actually have to delete what's inside of this init function here. And then change all of this to self.account. So everywhere where there's admin account, change that to self.account. And that's just because this is an old contract. So once we do that, then we can actually clear this and deploy. And remember, we're only doing this stuff so that we can like, you know, we can make our own marketplace here. So before we actually get into like this marketplace contract, I sort of want to make a diagram showing what this is going to look like. So let's go to online drawing thing. Okay, perfect. Oh, so it came up with this automatically. This was actually for a video I did before. So if you're curious about whatever that was, go watch my previous videos. LOL. Okay. But so I'm sort of gonna draw what this is gonna look like, right? So we have basically me here, right? This is me smiling. And so yeah, so this is me, okay? And so I have let's just say an NFT. So NFT number 1, okay? So I have the first one ever. I'm super cool. So in order to actually list this to the public, I'm going to have a sale collection. And so let's just make a sale collection here. So this is going to be called sale collection. Oh yeah, my handwriting is so good. Dude, I could be on Khan Academy for sure. So we're gonna have a sale collection, and what we're gonna do basically is this sale collection is just gonna have a bunch of NFTs in here, okay? And so in order to do that, each person's gonna have their own sale collection. So for example, this is like Jacob's sale collection, and so if I want to put my NFT up for sale, I'm just gonna put it in the sale collection, and then that way anyone can go to my sale collection and buy from it, right? But there's going to be a different sale collection for each person. So let's say we want to I don't know. Let's say someone else wants to have their own sale collection. Then let's make all this smaller, right? And let's just make someone else. So let's just do like Sarah or something. So Sarah is over here. Okay. So Sarah is over here. Sarah is also smiling. Sarah's going to have her own sale collection. Okay. So when Sarah wants to put her NFT, number 2, let's say she has that, she's going to put that inside her sale collection. So each person has their own sale collection, okay? So that's what we're going to be doing. So let's make our contract, public contract, NFT Marketplace. And the first thing we're going to do is actually make that sale collection. So public resource sale collection, like so. And once we do this, let's also just put an init here, just because every contract needs to have that. So this is the person's sale collection. So looking at my notes over here, what we're going to need to have inside of this sale collection is something called for sale. So public var for sale, and this is going to map basically a what is this? So uint 64 to a ufix 64. And so what this means is this is basically mapping the ID of the NFT. So this maps the ID of the NFT to the price of that NFT. Cool. And the other thing we're gonna need to have here is a public let NFT, so a my NFT collection. And this is going to be a capability to the person's my NFT collection. So I'll explain this in a second, but before we do this, let's go ahead and actually import my NFT from 0x02. And while we're at it, let's also import flow token from 0x04. Okay. And so, so the reason we're doing this is because basically what's going to happen is when someone lists their NFT for sale, they're actually not going to give up ownership of it. It's still going to be in their collection, right, in their account. The only difference, but the way that this is going to work is that in the sale collection, they're going to provide sort of a reference to their collection, so that if someone does purchase from it, it's going to withdraw from that person's collection. So it's going to use this reference and do that reference dot withdraw the NFT. Okay. And the other thing we're going to need here is a flow token vault. And the reason for this is because when someone purchases a token, we want to be able to deposit to this vault. And so this is going to be a capability to a flow token dot vault. And this is going to be a fungible token. It's going to be restricted to fungible token dot receiver. So we also have to import fungible token from 0x03, like so. Okay. And so this is going to make it so that it's a flow token vault, but it's restricted to a fungible token receiver, so that it can only receive stuff. All right. Cool. So let's initialize all this stuffs, and we're going to say self dot for sale. Basically equals just an empty dictionary, because initially it's nothing. And then we're going to also have to pass in these two as parameters. So my NFT collection, this is going to be a capability. Let's just copy and paste that type. And then the other thing we're going to have to pass in is a flow token vault, and this is going to have this type. Boom. I can't even see anything. Okay, so I think that's all good. And then we're just gonna say self dot my NFT collection equals underscore whatever, self dot flow token equals underscore flow token vault, like so. All right, so that's what we've done. And then we have to add some functions to actually like list something for sale and unlist it for sale and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So the first thing we're going to have is a list for sale. So a public function list for sale, like so. This is going to take in an ID. So this is the ID of the NFT that that person wants to list for sale. And it's also going to take in a price, which is a UFix64. So what this is going to do is basically, it's going to be super simple actually. It's going to say, let's see, self.for sale at the ID equals the price. So pretty simple stuff. So pretty simple stuff. So then what we actually want to add a restriction around this. So we want to make sure that like the price isn't below 0, because it wouldn't make sense to list something that's below 0. So we're going to say so precondition is that price is greater than 0.0. Otherwise we're going to say it doesn't make sense to list a token for less than 0, right? Yeah, and we're going to say greater than or equal to, because if someone wants to list it for free, that's fine, I guess. Right, okay. So that's how you list a token for sale. And then, we're going to need a public function unlist from sale that takes in a ID, which is a UN64. So just in case the owner wants to like take it out of sale, we say self.forSale at ID. At ID, or we could actually, we could just say self.forSale.remove ID. Okay, so it takes it away from sale. So boom, we've done it. All right, so this is what is happening. Okay, so now we want to add one sort of caveat here. So the person shouldn't be able to list an NFT for sale that doesn't exist in their collection, right? So we only want the person to be able to list an NFT for sale if they actually own that NFT. So the way that we can do that is we can say in here, we have our sort of collection right here, and we want to make sure that the IDs in here like contains the one that we're trying to list for sale. So we can actually say let what we can say is self.myNFTCollection.borrow, right? So we're going to borrow it, and then say dot get IDs, like so. And then we're going to say dot contains, because it's going to return an array, right? So dot contains the ID. And we can actually do that inside of a precondition as well. So we can add a comma here and do this, and say this owner, this sale collection owner does not have this NFT. Okay. Oh, and the reason for this error is just because I put a comma here, so I forgot that you don't have to put commas. Okay, so that is yeah. So we have added this check now to say, hey, we want to make sure that this collection actually contains an ID. Otherwise, they shouldn't be able to list it. Okay. Cool. And so let me check my notes. Okay, so the next thing we want to add is a function to allow someone to purchase, right? So if someone wants to purchase a token, so public function purchase. So that means that someone wants to purchase from this, sale collection. So in order to purchase, they're going to take in an ID. It's going to take an ID, which is the ID they want to purchase. And we're also going to take in a recipient collection. So the recipient collection is going to be a reference to a myNFT.collection. So a myNFT.collection, and then we're going to basically restrict this to non-fungible token dot receiver, right? And so we also have to import that as well. So import non-fungible token. Okay. Oh wait, no. So we're also going to take in okay. And then we're going to take in the recipient collection, which is just going to be a reference to my NFT.collection public. And then the last thing we're going to take in is, you know, the actual payment. So the payment, which is going to be basically a resource that is a flow token dot vault. All right. So then we can open this up, and here we are. So what's the problem here? So invalid use of interface as type. Oh, oops. So my NFT dot collection restricted to my NFT dot collection public. Bam. All right. So then, loss of resource, yeah. Okay, so then we're going to purchase. So basically, the reason we did this is because the person's going to call into the sale collection with the ID they want to purchase. They're going to pass in their collection so that we can deposit the NFT into their collection, and then they're also passing in a payment, right? So what they're paying with. Okay. So let me look at my notes here. Okay, so what we are going to do is say, so let price, so this is the price of the NFT, so let price equals self.firstSale at the ID, like so. Okay, and then we're going to say, you know, if, let's say, so if payment dot balance is less than price, then we're going to panic. And so the panic is going to be, wait. Okay. So now that we're in here, we're going to add a precondition. And this precondition is going to check to make sure that the amount that they're passing in is the correct amount, right, to actually purchase. So we're going to say, check beforehand that payment dot balance equals the you know, the self dot for sale at the ID, right? So we want to make sure that the amount that they're passing in is equal to the price of the NFT. Otherwise, the payment is not equal to the price of the NFT, like so. Then what we can do is we can just say, you know, let yeah, so then we're going to actually deposit the NFT into this collection. So we're going to say recipient collection dot deposit, and the token that we're going to deposit, remember we're going to move it, is self dot my NFT collection dot borrow, like so. So self dot my NFT collection dot borrow, and then dot withdraw. The withdraw ID is the ID that the person wanted, like so. Okay. So, so remember restricted is not accessible deposit, right? Okay, cool. So, oh, and so the reason for this is because we actually need to go in here, and I actually made a mistake. So this is non-fungible token dot collection public. So non-fungible token dot collection public. So let's actually import that as well. So import non-fungible token from 0x01. Okay. So the reason I messed up is because remember my NFT.collection public, so what we defined in our thing doesn't actually have depositing, it just has the borrow entire NFT here. Okay. So let's go back to our contract here. And so then we need to also deposit the payment. So we need to say self.flowTokenVault.borrow. And the reason we're borrowing is because these are capabilities, so we have to borrow them. .borrow.deposit, and we're going to pass in the payment. So boom, done. And so then the purchasing is complete. So there's only one other thing we have to add to the marketplace, and that's a public function called create sale collection. And this is just going to return a sale collection resource. So return create sale collection. But once again, we have to forward these initialized things through. So let's just go ahead and copy these. Let's delete these underscores, and we're going to pass those through. So my NFT collection is what we're passing in, and flow token vault is flow token vault, like so. And then once we do this, we are done. So this is the entirety of the. Oh no, actually there is one more that we can do. So a get, yeah. So we can also add two helper functions here, or just two functions to actually get the price of a token. So public function get price. This is going to take in an ID, which is a UN64, and it returns a UFix64, and this is just going to return self.forSale at the ID. That's pretty much it. And we can unwrap the optional by putting the exclamation mark here. And then the other one we can put is public function get IDs. So this is just going to return an array of UN64s, which is all the IDs that are up for sale in the sale collection. So return self.forSale.keys. All right, and now once we do this, then we are done. Okay, so we can go ahead and deploy our contract. Of course, it's going to be super buggy because these two are not deployed. And then we can go ahead and deploy this one. Wow. So that sort of wraps up the contracts, which is super exciting, and also thank God, because we were going to lose our minds soon, right? We just spent an hour on the contracts. That is crazy. But I told you it would be a long video, so you can't blame me. Okay, so one correction I want to make really quick is inside of store collection, inside of here, we actually want to make sure that we add this, and I'll explain why later, but collection public. And let's import, let's go here and actually import non-fungible token from 0x01. So at a later point, we're going to need to be able to access non-fungible token.collection public, so we have to add that to the linking here. Okay, so let's actually make another transaction here, and this is going to be called, let's say, I don't know, store sale collection. Okay, so let's go ahead and just copy some base transaction code. So let's get rid of all this stuff. All right, and so a user stored a sale collection in their account. So we just want to store a sale collection. So we need to import NFT Marketplace from 0x05. Okay, so we're going to say account.save, and what we're going to store here is NFT Marketplace .create sale collection. And in order to create the sale collection, we're going to have to pass in these two things. But let's just add a path here, / sale collection. So my sale collection. All right, cool. Alrighty. So once we have done this, so we need to be able to get these two values, right? So my NFT collection and flow token vault. So in order to do that, we have to say let my NFT collection basically be, so this is equal to account.get capability, and the type of this capability is going to be what's the type? It's going to be my NFT.collection restricted to non-fungible token.collection public, like so. And we're going to get this path from /public/ what do we name it inside of store collection? We named it /my NFT collection. So that's the path. So my NFT collection. All right, get the capability, and that works. And then for flow token vault, we say let flow token vault equals account.get capability. The type is going to be a reference to flow token.vault, and this is restricted to fungible token.receiver. Okay, so we also have to import flow token and also fungible token dot 0x03, like so. Okay, and so remember the reason that we're doing this stuff, and let's just quickly do /public/ we have to figure out what these paths are. So if we actually go to flowtoken.cdc, we can see that this is linked here at /public/ flow token receiver. So flow token receiver, and this is already made by the Flow team, because remember, this is already native to the Flow blockchain. Okay, so what did I mess up on here? I probably did something. I forgot to add this little thingy here. Okay, so mismatch types. So I'm sorry. So actually, this doesn't need this restriction, so I messed up. It's just blank, just like that. Okay, so then this will actually allow a user to store a sale collection. So let's go ahead and do this. And boom, we stored a sale collection in the account so that we know it works. Bam. All right. Now we're going to add one more transaction to allow a user to actually list something for sale. So list NFT for sale. So let's go ahead and copy some base transaction code as always. So let's delete this stuff. And we're going to say a user listed an NFT for sale. So in order to do this, we actually need to get their sale collection. So let's let sale collection equals account dot borrow from /storage /my sale collection. So storage sale collection is right here /storage /my sale collection, and we're going to borrow this. Okay, what's the type? So the type is a reference to NFT Marketplace dot sale collection, right? Yes, and then if we can't borrow this, we're going to panic and say this sale collection, sale collection does not exist. All right, bam. All right, cool. So then we're going to borrow the sale collection, and then we're going to just simply say sale collection dot list for sale. The ID we have to pass in through the transaction, so ID is going to be a UN64, and as well as the price. So this is going to be a UFix64. All right, cool. And that seems to be good enough for us, right? So we're going to list it for sale. We pass in the ID we want to list for sale and the price as well. Cool. Now, I do want to make one modification to the marketplace really quick while we're still on the contract stuff. The get price and the get IDs should be able, and also purchase should be able to be called by the public. So everyone should be able to call those because we want them to interact with it that way. So we have to actually make a resource interface called sale collection public. And this is going to basically have these two functions in it. So public function get IDs, which returns a array of uint64s, and also the other function, which is public function get price, which takes in an ID, returns a UFix64, like so. Okay. And so these are just these two functions here that I just want everyone to be able to see, and also the purchasing, right? Because we want everyone to be able to purchase from the sale collection. So that's going to take in all this stuff. So we can just copy and paste this into here. Okay. And so then we want to make this implement sale collection public, like so. And then inside of our, let's see, so store sale collection. When we actually make a new sale collection, we want to be able to link this to the public. So account.link, so that everyone can see it. The type we're going to link is a NFT Marketplace sale collection. That's restricted to NFT Marketplace sale collection public. And we're going to link this, the target is right here, so /storage /my sale collection. Okay. And the path is going to be /public /my sale collection. All right, so it says unexpected something, so what did I do wrong? Once again, I forgot to add this little thingy here. And you cannot find type in this. Oh, that's because this has to be a reference too. Okay. And I also forgot something here. Geez, what did I do? What did I do now? I just forgot some. Did I here? What the heck? Is this just the playground being weird? I feel like I didn't do anything wrong. Sometimes your brain just starts imploding. Sale collection public. What the heck? Oh, I forgot. I shouldn't add that. Okay, oops. I accidentally added the referencing there. Okay. So yeah, that was my mistake. All right. So wow, we just spent so long on the contracts and transactions. Now we're gonna end up adding probably a bunch more. But what we can do now is sort of start diving into our DApp so we can start interacting with all of this stuff, right? So yeah. Okay. So the next part of this video is going to be jumping into the actual DApp part and how do we sort of start making the DApp, all right? And so we're actually going to have to also deploy these contracts to Testnet, set up a wallet, and so there's yeah, we are going to start, yeah, so there's a lot ahead of us, okay? All right. So with that in mind and with that positive note, let's actually open up a terminal, which is our best friend, and start getting nuts. So yeah, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to set up a React project, and so this is sort of where we're going to put our DApp, and we're going to start interacting with all our NFTs and stuff. So yeah, so let's do it. So let's make a new React app. So npx create React app, and the name, let's just call it like NFT DApp or something. I don't know. So we can't put capital letters. I forgot. So NFT DApp. All right. So we're just going to go ahead and create this, and as many of you may know, I don't like to just cut this part of the video so that you guys can like be happy. I like to just pull up Flappy Bird and play Flappy Bird. So Flappy Bird game, please come up. I want to play. I can't play Flappy Bird. Flappy Bird online. Here we go. Wait, no, wait, what? Wait, I'm always able to play Flappy Bird. Oh, it's because oh my god, Flappy Bird. I typed in Flow. My mind is... Okay, so we're still installing, so we still have time. Let's play a quick round of Flappy Bird while we're installing. Let's see if I can get to 10. Come on. 6. Oh my god, the pressure is on. No. Are we done installing at least so I can... Oh my god, I'm so traumatized. Alright, so anyway, we're done installing. I'm so sad right now. NFT, let's go into NFT DApp, right? So we're going to go into our NFT DApp. Let's clear the console. And we're here, right? So let me actually increase this font because that might be helpful. How do I do that? Okay. So in order to sort of get started, we're going to have to install some dependencies here. So let's actually go ahead and install some dependencies. So the two things we're going to want to install are npm install @onflow/fcl and @onflow/types, right? Okay. Oh, and there's one more. And that one more is going to be, let me find out, is going to be IPFS HTTP client. Just like that. Okay. And so it's going to go ahead and install all of these for us now, and so we can just let it do that. Okay, cool. So let's just have it do that. Okay. And in a separate terminal, let's just go back into NFT DApp and open that up in VS Code and start our journey of pain and suffering. No, just kidding. I guess I trust the authors. Okay, so here we are. So this is sort of the, you know, this is, God, it's dark in my room. Okay, so I like to code in the dark, LOL. Okay, so here we are. This is our VS Code, and so we can actually start making the beginning parts of our DApp while this is installing, right? So this is all installing. So let's open up app.js, okay? Let's delete the sort of base React stuff that we don't need. And let's go ahead and also delete the logo, because we don't need the logo. The poor logo always gets deleted. All right, so now we're here. So we can we can launch this while this is installing. Do npm run start in the terminal, and if this is going to, what did I do? Is it just npm start? Okay, oops, I don't know why I typed run. Okay, so it's gonna launch this, and it's gonna put it in our web page here. And so this is just a blank React project that is oh, we already have an error. Perfect. I love errors. That's great. Oh, I forgot to save the file. Refresh. Alright, so we have nothing. Yay, there's nothing here. Okay, lol. Alright, so let's go back here and let's put an h1 tag that just is like hello and lots of happy faces. What, dude? Okay. So let's go ahead and see. Yay. Okay. Yeah. So it's working. So it's working. We have sort of like a front end, and that's that. Okay. So where do we get started? Wow, we have so much to do, and it's sort of overwhelming, but we're in this together. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually import the things that we installed. So did it? Oh, it's still installing. Wow. So okay, so we're still installing a bunch of stuff, but we're going to go ahead and import it and act as if it's already in our project. So we're going to import all as FCL from at onflow/FCL, and we're going to see why we're going to do this now. So in order to actually have our DApp configured to run on Testnet, we have to like manually configure it to point to Testnet. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to I hate when I'm watching a YouTube video and the YouTuber like copy and paste code. I'm really sorry, but I have to do this because this gets a little confusing. So just pause the video and put that in your code. And what this is doing is this is basically allowing your DApp to point to testnet. So when you run transactions and stuff and like mint NFTs and stuff, it's going to know to do that because we're on testnet here. Okay. So the first part that we actually want to nail down is we want to be able to log into our, we want to be able to like log into our DApp, right? So we do that like, we want to be able to log into our DApp, and we can do that through something called Blocto Wallet. So Blocto Wallet basically allows us to have an address and run transactions and mint NFTs and do all of that. It basically handles our account for us. And so we can do that by making a function. So we're going to make a function called login. Okay, and this is, I'm going to use arrow functions, by the way, so take that as you will. I don't know if you like that, but yeah, so I'm going to be using arrow functions. So in order to log in, this is what we're going to do. So let's just delete this. Actually, let's keep that because it's happy, right? So let's make a button. Okay, so we're going to have a button. And if we save this and go to the web page, what's going on here? Oh, it's still not installed. Oh, is it? What? So module not found. What is not found? What? Cannot resolve. What's going on? Why is it giving me errors? Do I have to? Oh, I might have to I think I have to relaunch this, because I launched it before the dependencies were installed. Is that? I think that's the case. Please. Is it gonna work? Yay! Okay, it works. So that was it. So there's our little tiny button on the screen, right? So we're gonna add this little called login. Okay, so a little login, and what we're gonna do is when you click this button, so on click is going to basically run login. So let's make a little arrow function called log. Oh, oops! I did not mean that. And this is going to be login, right? Okay, cool. So it's going to call this login function, and what we want to do is something called fcl.authenticate. And so when we actually authenticate, let me make sure that this is right. Yep, it is. So it's going to call fcl.authenticate. Now what this does is this is basically going to bring up a wallet so that we can log in. So let's refresh the page and click login. Now look what happens. It brings up these two. And so we're going to be using Blocto, so let's always click on Blocto. And it's going to come up with what you're probably going to see is so I'm already logged into my account. So my account is coolkid13070. I just made a dummy account so that you guys can't hack me. Not that you could hack this anyway because you would need the email. But yeah, so what you're probably going to see is you're going to see this screen. And so if you see this screen, that's totally fine. You just have to type in your email. So I'm going to type in, I already forgot my dummy email. I'm going to pull it up on the side. So what's my email? It's coolkid, whatever this is, okay? So put that in there. Oh, that's not the right thing. Oops. Where's coolkid? Come back, coolkid. So it's coolkid13070. Okay, coolkid13070@gmail.com. You're going to click sign in. And it's going to send you an email. So let's go to my email together. Let's see who sends me emails. Looks like I have an email from Blocto Service. That's exciting. I never get emails. Okay, let's go back and copy and paste this code and then put it into the code thing, and then it's going to log in. So here's your actual address on the Flow blockchain. This is your address, and you can press confirm, and now we're logged in, right? But there's nothing showing us that we're logged in. So why don't we go ahead and add that? All right, so let's go ahead and add that. So we're going to use something called use state and use effect. So const user set user equals use state. And so what we're going to do is actually import use state and use effect from React. And so if you're not familiar with what these two are, these are just hooks that you can use in React. Use state basically is just a helpful way of handling some state, and use effect is helpful because use effect, you can use it to sort of run when something changes, but in this case, we're going to add a use effect and make sure to add these little brackets here, so this gets run when the page reloads. And we're going to say this complicated thing, which is fcl.currentUser.subscribe, and we're going to pass in the set user here. Okay, and what this is going to do is basically every time we refresh the page, it's going to make sure that our user is set to the person that just logged in. So this sets the user variable to the person that is logged in through Blocto. Okay, and this is going to log in through Blocto. All right, and so what we can do is we can actually display the person's address by doing this. So we can add a little here. So instead of all this stuff like hello, let's keep this here because I really like that. But we're basically going to say actually we'll have to get rid of this for now. We're going to say account address, and this is going to be if the user is not nil, right? So user and the user.addr, which is the user's address. So if they're not nil, then we're going to display the user.address. Otherwise, we're just going to display nothing here. Well, let's see if it works. So if we go back to our web page, look, there's my address right there. Perfect. And if I even refresh the page, it's still there. Awesome. So let's go back to our code, and let's also add a logout button. So let's just go ahead and add a logout button. So log out. And logging out is going to be pretty simple. Instead of having a function, we're just going to say fcl.unauthenticate, and that's going to help us log out. So if we go ahead and save this code, and we go back, let's log out. Boom, we're logged out. If we want to log back in, we can click on Blocto, and we are logged back in. Bam. God, I'm so amazing. Oh my God, I'm the best. So we've now handled logging in. Perfect. Now, the next part of this is going to be actually like figuring out how to mint, right? So figuring out how to mint, how to trade, how to do all this stuff. And so this is the part of the video where I am not an expert on this stuff because I'm trash at CSS and I'm really bad at styling, but I know the blockchain stuff. So this is probably going to look super ugly, but that's not my fault. It just is. I am who I am, and you know, this is the YouTube video you're watching, and you're stuck with me. So it's going to look like trash, but it's going to work, and that's the most important part of this video. All right, so let me think of what we want to do first. So in order to actually, you know, get this, like, I guess, sort of, in order to actually, like, get this running, what we're going to do is deploy our contracts to the blockchain. So so how you do that is we're going to go to something called the view source. So go to flowviewsource.com, and if you notice, if you run this, it's going to say sadly no because it's really mean. You actually have to put in some dummy values in the link because it's super bugged. So if you do /testnet/account/0x01 and run that, it'll actually take you to the web page. So here we are. And so the flow view source is going to help us actually deploy our contracts, which is great. So let's click on authenticate, and you'll notice that if you already logged in through your DApp, the login will also be available here as well. So we can just log in, and if we click on the thing at the bottom left corner, it'll take us to our account. So here's my account. I have 1,000 flow. I'm so rich. No, it's all in Testnet. I wish I had this in real life, but no. So maybe if I become super popular one day, but this is all in Testnet, so don't think I'm like super rich or anything. Okay. So you'll notice I already have a Hello World contract here. This is from one of the previous videos I did, so you won't see this. But what we're going to do is we're going to click on New Contract, and we're going to deploy our own contract here, which is great. Now, guess what? We already spent an hour doing all that crap, and here we are. So the first contract that we made was called My NFT. Now, I'm hoping to God that I did all this right, or else we're going to have to redeploy all this at some point. But let's just go ahead and copy and paste our contract and put it in the view source. So copy and paste. Now, the one thing we have to change is this address, right? Because on Testnet, this doesn't exist. 0x01. That was just in the playground environment. We actually need to find out where non-fungible token lives, and we can do that by going to onflow.org, going to for builders, and going to documentation, and we can look up core contracts and click on non-fungible token, and it'll tell us the testnet address of non-fungible token. So let's go ahead and copy this address, bring it back, and delete this address and paste that. And if we deploy our contract, so I just clicked on this button. Here, let me actually reject this so I can show you guys. So I clicked on this button in the bottom right corner called, so here it is, deploy contract. And then it's gonna wait, and then it's gonna come up with a problem. You click approve. So that's what I just clicked. Okay, I'm floating. Yay! Let's bring it back down. Okay. So if we wait for a second here, it's going to wait, and if all goes well, it's gonna deploy. So let's hope it does that. I really hope it deploys. Awesome. Oh, and yeah. Okay. So there's one thing I should mention, by the way. If that doesn't work for you, so if you end up getting a bug here, one reason for that might be because you don't have enough flow in your account. So we should also actually go over that. So flow testnet faucet. So if you look up flow testnet faucet, go to click on this flow testnet faucet and click on fund account at the top right. What you're gonna have to do is actually take your address, so copy and paste. So like go over your address and copy it, bring it back and paste it into here. Leave testnet flow, verify you're human. Oh, this is always fun. So motor bus, boom, 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 boom. Verify. Okay, nice. I'm a human. And click fund your account, and it's going to add 1,000 testnet flow to your account. So sometimes it'll give you an error on the view source saying you don't have enough contract storage or something like that if you're trying to deploy a contract. And the reason for that is because like it costs something to actually deploy a contract. So make sure you have 1,000 flow in your account when you're doing all this deploying. And so you can do that by here. It says account funded. And if you go back now, I have 2,000 flow, right? Bam, super rich. Okay, so that's just to make sure in case you don't already have 1,000 flow in your account. Okay, so then the next contract we're gonna do is NFT Marketplace. So let's get this code. Let's go back to our view source, copy and paste it, and we need to replace all these addresses. So the first one we have to do is go to core contracts, get the non-fungible token address, replace that here. My NFT is just the address that's our address, right? So we can just do that by copy and pasting our address again. Boom. We have to get fungible token, so let's go and look for fungible token, which should be here. Fungible token, testnet, bring that over, and then flow token. So flow token is also in here, which is flow token is right here, and get the testnet address for that one. Bring that back. And then hopefully, if all goes well, we can deploy this contract. So let's pray to the flow gods. Let's pray to the flow gods that everything goes well and that it appears on the left-hand side here. Praying. Please. Yes, and it works. Okay, so what you have just done is you've officially deployed contracts to the flow testnet. So if you've gotten this far, then you're kind of a legend, not gonna lie. All right. So here we are. All right. So let's go back to our DApp, and here we are. We're back in our DApp. And so we actually need to be able to mint NFTs and be able to list them on the marketplace. So in order to do that, we're actually going to do the minting first. And like I said earlier, a lot of this might be messy because I'm not that great at, doing like front-end development and styling, but just stick with me here and, we're going to make it work. So, all right, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to add a div block. And in here, we're going to add, like an input field to upload an image and text to name our NFT. So the first one is going to be an input, and the type is going to equal a text. And then secondly, we're going to have another input where the type, equals file. Okay. And so we're going to add some like on-chain channelers so we can actually set some values here. So when we change this one, we're going to add two pieces of state. One is going to be the name of NFT. So then we're going to name this set name of NFT. And we're going to, this is initially just going to be nothing. And then this one's going to be a file. So set file, and this is just going to be nothing initially. And So when we change the text, this is going to be the name of the NFT. So we're going to set the name of NFT to e.target, and there's going to be e in here, e.target.value. And then in here, we're going to say on change, let's see, equals, same exact thing. So it's going to take in an e, and we're going to do set file, and we're going to set this to, set this to e.target.files, files at 0. Okay. And so we actually we can check this in a second, and then the last thing. Oh, sorry. This got rid of that y here. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're actually going to have like a button. And this is going to be called mint. And so we're going to have a on click here that's going to call a minting function. So mint. Oh, not that. That's not what I want. Like that. Okay, and I misspelled this as well. Cool. So what we can do is we can actually have a function up here called const mint equals like so. All right. Cool. And so this is going to mint the NFT, but first let's just make sure, what we can do is inside here, we can console.log, what did we call it? Name of NFT, and we can also console.log, let's see, a file. Okay. So let's go here, and like I said, it's super sloppy, but you know, just we can just try our best. Oh, oops. Okay. So here, we're gonna call this like dragon, and the file. Let's click choose file, and let's go to let's click on this little dragon card, and we're gonna mint this. And so I clicked mint, and let's see if it actually logged it in the console. So it looked like it did it, right? So it logged a dragon and the file, which is perfect. So we're on our way to success here. So what we actually want to do, of course, is call a transaction. Now, a transaction changes the state of the blockchain. We're going to be submitting it, right? So that's the whole reason why we had to have a wallet and Blocto in the first place, is because we're going to be sending this transaction to the blockchain and minting ourselves an NFT, which is super cool. So, of course, you haven't forgotten the trauma of the first hour of this video where we did all the smart contract stuff, and this is where this is going to come in handy, right? So where we actually like minted this NFT. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's actually copy this transaction, and we're going to make a folder inside of here called Cadence. And Cadence, obviously is the language that we're coding in, and then we're going to make a folder called Transactions. And this first one is going to be called mint NFT, and it's going to be a JS file. So this is sort of confusing, but when you're actually making a DApp, you can't just put CDC code. You actually have to wrap it. For some weird reason, you have to wrap it in backticks, but we'll do this in a second. And so what we're going to do is, we have this, but we have to change the address of this, right? Because, of course, we're not in the playground anymore, so we have to put an actual address in our transaction. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, not this one. We can X that out. Let's go ahead to our view source. Let's copy and paste our address here that we deployed our contracts to. Go back in here, and let's replace this address. Now, what we have to do is actually wrap this in, so we have to say export default export default mint NFT, and this is going to equal stuff in backticks here, like so. Okay, so we've wrapped our transaction in some backticks, and now we can actually import this into our app.js. So let's go ahead and import mint NFT from /cadence/transactions/mint NFT.js, and boom, now we have our transaction here. Now, you might be wondering, how do we actually submit this to the blockchain? And that's what we're going to talk about now. So what you do in here, so let's get rid of these console.logs, is we're going to say const transaction, and I'm looking at my notes here while I do this, equals, oh wait, because no one can ever remember this, so don't worry if you can't, .send. We're going to open up parentheses and then an array here, and we're going to pass in a bunch of stuff here. So we're going to say fcl.transaction, and in here we're going to pass in our transaction, which is mint NFT. All right, and then we're going to say fcl.args, so fcl.args, and we're going to open up little brackets here and also an array, and we're going to put in one arg, so fcl.arg. Okay, this is going to be the IPFS hash, so we haven't done this yet, but let's just put this like in quotes here because we haven't done this. So the IPFS hash, this is going to be a t.string, and so in order to use t, we actually have to go up here and also import all as t from at on flow/types, like that. Okay. And then we're going to pass in another argument, which is going to be the name. So fcl.args, fcl.arg, what is it? So we named it name of NFT, and this is going to be a t.string. Perfect. Okay. All right, so we've done that, and then we have to add some other stuff here. So this is just all like just stuff you always have to put. So fcl.payer, this is the person paying for the transaction, and you can do that with fcl.auths. So fcl.auths is the current person signed into on Blocto, so that's like you. fcl.proposer, this is the person proposing the transaction, which is also fcl.auths. This is all just stuff that you have to put when you're sending a transaction. fcl.authorizations, also fcl.auths. Okay, authorizations, make sure there's an S there, and then fcl.limit, and we're just going to put like an infinite gas limit here. So again, this is all just like, you know, kind of boilerplate stuff you have to put. And then after it's done, we're going to say .then fcl.decode, and we're going to return fcl.transaction, and we're going to pass in the transaction ID, and then say .once sealed, once sealed. Okay, like so. And then we can also, you know, if we want to just like console.log the transaction ID here. Cool. All right. So you might be wondering, well, how do we actually get this IPFS hash? And what is the IPFS hash? Well, the IPFS hash is going to be the hash of the like image that we uploaded. So we wouldn't want to store the image on the blockchain because the blockchain is expensive, right? Storage is expensive. So we want to store a hash of that image instead. And we can do this with something called IPFS. So IPFS is a basically decentralized storage network where you can upload a little hash, and what a hash is like a bunch of random letters and numbers, like zero, like H, 2, 3, 4, whatever you want, right? A, B, C, D. It's a bunch of stuff, and we're going to store that hash on the blockchain, and then that way, when we read all the NFTs in our collection or the ones that are up for sale, we can take in that hash from the blockchain, and we can then make a request to IPFS to get us that image, so we can handle that off-chain, which is much less expensive. So in order to actually do that, we have to upload our image to IPFS, and so we're going to do that here. So what we're going to say is we're going to say, before we actually mint, we're going to say try, so a little try block. I'm going to say, actually, the one thing we have to do beforehand is actually set up IPFS. So we have to go up here and say const client equals create, and then we're going to put in this whole string, so HTTPS IPFS .infura, and I type this out because I don't like when YouTubers copy and paste stuff. 5001, although of course that could lead to errors, but let's just hope to God it doesn't. This link here, like I did, and then we go back down here and we're going to say const added equals await client.add, and we're going to add our file. And remember, our file is being stored here. Okay, like that. And then we're going to say const. Okay, so then what we're going to do is say const hash equals added dot path, like that. And then we can console dot log the hash if we wanted to. Okay, and then what we're going to say is catch error, like that, and say console dot log. So if there was an error uploading file, and then we're just gonna like put the error here, like that. Okay, cool. All right, so we have done this, which is all cool. And so then what we can do is we can put in the hash right here. So of course this is bad programming. We should, say like that, and then we can just say like hash equals added path, right? And we can pass in our hash right here. Actually, you know what? I'm an idiot. So what we should do? No, we shouldn't do that. I'm stupid. Sorry. I'm a terrible programmer. What we should do is just go do this, and just do it inside the try block, right? Because if it fails, then it's bad anyway. Okay. This is, I don't know. You can judge my programming skills. I guess I'm an idiot, but here we are. So this will actually submit a transaction to the blockchain that will, put the hash name of NFT. Now, you may have noticed that in our mint NFT transaction, it's actually taking in a metadata string. Why don't we just do this instead? Let's just change the metadata to be a name here, and let's make this a string, because all we really care about is the name anyway. So let's just pass in the name, the string, right? And so then in here, we're going to change, we're just going to, instead of metadata, we're just going to pass in, like, we're just going to make name, and then we're just going to map that to name. So it's much easier. Okay. So let us see if this actually works now. So let's go to our React app. Let's refresh the page. Of course, there's errors, so let's just, we put await in here, so we have to make this a asynchronous function because we use await. And let's see if that helps anything. Create is not defined. Okay, so what did I forget? So I forgot to, so I used create up here, and that's not allowed. So, that's because, of course, I'm a dummy. We actually forgot to import the IPFS thing. So import create from IPFS HTTP client like so. So now we can use create. So let's go back here and let's refresh the page. Reorder to, okay, so we have to put the imports at the top here. So let's put this import up here and let's do this like so. Okay. So let's go back. Mint NFT is not defined. Okay. Oh my god. So mint NFT is not defined. Okay. Why is it saying that is not defined? Okay. So I just took a quick break and debugged this for a second. And so hence I have turned the lights on because it's also gotten so late here because this has been taking a while. But essentially, in order to fix this, what we can do is we can actually wrap mint NFT in some brackets and do export const mint NFT like so. And so once we do that, if we go back to our application here, so if let's try this again. So let's type in dragon, choose file, dragon card, and click mint. And it says emap is not a function. So, oh yeah, so I get this error sometimes. So the problem is that I forgot to wrap fcl.auths in square brackets like this. So if we actually wrap it in square brackets, it should be fine if we try and mint again. So let's click mint again. And let's see. Oh, yep. So it comes up with the prompt, and we can actually see the arguments in this transaction. If we look at here's the IPFS hash for the image, and here is the dragon that we typed in. And so we can actually click approve, and it's going to send us to it's going to send us a transaction ID. Remember, because we log the transaction ID right here. So we can actually go to something called Flowscan. So Flowscan is this, basically, it's this Flow blockchain explorer. It was created by someone named Yonder in the Flow community. It's super awesome. And you can use it to view information about your transaction. So if we actually go to testnet.flowscan.org and copy and paste our transaction ID, click explore, it's going to show us the transaction. Oh, and see, look, we got an error. So this collection does not exist. And so here is sort of the point of why I wanted to do the minting first, is because remember, we forgot to set up the user's collection to actually store the NFTs, right? And so let's actually do that right now. So I was debugging, so I added this transaction here. That's not supposed to be there, but yeah, so we forgot to store the user collection, and also we didn't set up the user to have a sale collection either. So that's what we should do now, and then we can mint into the user account. So let's go and add a new transaction. We're going to call this setup user.js. So export const setup user. And this is, and I'm actually going to prefix this with tx. And so let's open up these little backticks here. And so what we can do is we can actually go into our playground. Let's copy and paste this transaction, and let's bring it in here. And let's also take what we had in store sale collection, and let's copy everything that we had in here as well, because we want to be able to both set up the collection and the sale collection in one transaction. So let's make some room in here. And let's copy this, actually this should be, I guess, back one. And let's copy all this code into here like so. Boom, so we did it. Now, one thing I do want to add, though, is let's also add one line in here that says account.link. We're going to link my NFT.collection. And I know all this because I was debugging this for a while. My NFT collection. And we're going to link this to /private/my NFT collection. And the target is going to be the target that was over here as well. So /storage/my NFT collection. And let's change this right here. So this line 12, let's change it to /private. So the reason we had to do this is because you can only get we're trying to get capabilities here. You can only get capabilities from public or private paths, and it's impossible to we didn't link the whole my NFT.collection to the public path, because then anyone could like steal stuff from our collection. So we do a private link here, and then we can we can use that capability, and only your account is allowed to use that. So let's go ahead and replace these two imports here. So let's replace let's replace my NFT, but we also have to import non-fungible token from, and let's go get the non-fungible token. We can do that right here. We already found that, and boom. So now we're going to set up the user. So a user has stored a collection and a sale collection inside their account. All right, so let's go up here and let's import setup user transaction. So it's going to be setup user.js. Cool, and we can add another, so let's just go ahead and copy some of the transaction stuff we were doing in here, and we don't need to look at minting for now. Let's say const setup user equals async. Let's open up this function, and let's copy and paste the stuff that we had. Now, this doesn't take any arguments, so we don't have to put any fcl.args, and the transaction is going to be setup user transaction, like we just imported above. And so we can add a button to actually set up the user. So let's add a button, and we're going to call this setup user, and we're going to call the setup user function. Bam. Okay, so this should work. Now let's go to our website. Let's refresh the page, and let's click on setup user and see what happens. So if we click on setup user, it looks like it's not actually going through. So I wonder why it's not doing anything. It should. That's a little weird. Setup user. Huh. Oh, it's because we have to log in. So I forgot to log in. So if we click on log in, okay, now it's not even logging us in. That's really strange. Should I log out first and then try to log in? Let's do Blocto, confirm, setup user. Oh, it's because I forgot to add these two parentheses here. So I forgot to add these little parentheses here. Okay, so this should work now. So if I click on setup user, right? Okay, yes. So then we can set up the user. Boom. Let's see if we're going to click approve. We're going to send this transaction, and we have this transaction ID here. So let's actually go to Flowscan. Let's copy and paste that transaction ID and click explore, and let's pray to the flow gods that this goes through, and it doesn't. Okay. Oh, it says cannot find type flow token, and that's because we forgot to import some stuff in here. So we have to also import. I forgot that in our playground, we also have to import flow token and all these other things as well that we just completely forgot about. So let's go ahead and also add those imports like so. The NFT Marketplace is from the same one as my NFT, and fungible token and flow we can just get from this. So fungible token and flow, let's just bring in from there. Okay. Now let's run this transaction again, and let's pray to the flow gods again that this works. Let's click approve. Let's click everything, and let's take this transaction ID. Let's go to Flowscan, explore. All right, come on, flow gods, help us out. Let's see if this goes through. And boom, it executed, right? So now we should be able to mint an NFT into the user account because of the fact that they have a setup collection now. So if we type in dragon, choose file, choose the dragon, and click mint. Let's approve this transaction. Let's take the ID, go to Flowscan. We're going to be doing this a lot. Click explore. Boom, we are fast. It wasn't even available yet. So we're going to wait for the transaction to go through. Execution success, and bam! So we have officially done it. That is so awesome. Okay. So boom, that's super hype. Okay. So now that we have done all of that, let's go back into the app. And now that we've minted an NFT, we want to be able to see the user's NFTs. And so the question is, how can we do that? Well, we're going to do some cool stuff. So we're going to make a new component called collection. And so let's actually go ahead and make a new file called collection.js. We're going to copy and paste everything in app.js and just get rid of pretty much all of it, because I just want to keep some of the imports. Let's rename this to collection. Let's get rid of all this fancy stuff. Get rid of some of the state. We don't need any of this, but we want to keep like, let's see, we want to keep this stuff. Okay, so this is good. Okay, and let's also rename app to collection here. Okay, so what we want to do now is we want to loop through all of the users' stuff. And I want to mention, by the way, that if you were like wondering why I added some stuff over here, you don't have to worry about that. We're going to go over that together. I was just debugging on the side. I just realized that some of you may have looked at this and been like, why do these two appear here? It'll come up later. I was just trying to prepare for the future of this video. Okay. So what we're going to do now is try and get all of the users' NFTs, right, in order to display them. And so in order to do that, let's actually pass in the user's address. This is the first thing we're going to do. So we're going to say the address equals user.addr. So bam, we pass in the user's address here. And so that means that inside of collection, we can actually put in props, and let's just make like an h1 tag, for example, and say like props.address. And when we do that, if we go back to our we forgot to import collection, of course. Let's do that at the top here. Let's import collection from /collection.js. And let's see if this comes up on the web page. Boom. So there's our address that we got from that component. So we've correctly set up our component now. So inside of collection, we want to take this address and we want to run a script that will get all of the users' NFTs. So the question is, how do we do this? Well, ahead of time, I have already done this, but let's just go ahead and delete all this because we want to be able to do this together, right? So what we're going to do is go back to the Flow Playground and make a new script called getUserNFTs. And so what we're going to do is return an array that is a reference to all the users' NFTs so that we can read stuff about them. So we've imported my NFT and non-fungible token, and let's go ahead. So we pass in the user's account, and we're going to say let collection equals get account, the account, dot get capability, and this is going to be /public/my NFT collection. And remember, the reason it's like this is because inside of here, store collection, we linked it to the public with /public/my NFT collection. All right. Then we're going to borrow it. So dot borrow. The type is my NFT dot collection, and it's restricted to non-fungible token dot collection public, as well as my NFT dot collection public. And I'm just getting these from in here, these restrictions that we added on it. These are the only ways that we can call it. So let's go to and we're going to panic. So if this doesn't work, and say can't get the user's collection. And if you're having a hard time understanding some of this cadence code, I would really advise you to watch my series on learning cadence. It's called Learn Flow/Cadence, because a lot of this would just be way too complicated to explain in one video. But this is assuming that you know some stuff about capabilities and stuff like that. But this is explained in other videos. All right, cool. So we're gonna, just to get rid of this error, let's just say let return vals equals an empty array, and then we're just gonna return vals so that we get rid of that return error. And it's gonna say empty array literally requires an explicit typecast. So let's just add that type here because that's what we're gonna be returning, and we do that like so. So now that we have the collection, we actually will be able to know let IDs equals collection.getIDs, and so this gets all the IDs in the user's account. Once we do that, we can say for ID in IDs, so we're going to loop through all the IDs, return vals dot append, and what are we going to append to this array? Well, we're going to say collection dot borrow entire NFT with that ID, and so it's going to put the NFT inside of that return vals array, and now it's going to return all the NFTs that are in that account. So what we can do is we can copy and paste this script. Let's make a new folder in here called scripts. Let's make a new file called getNFTs.js. Export const get NFTs. I'm just going to name it script, and then we're going to say equals backticks, and then we can copy and paste the transaction. We need to replace our imports, of course. So let's just get my NFT, and then as well as non-fungible token. I could have just done that at once. I'm an idiot. Bam. Okay, so now we have replaced these two, and now we can get all the NFTs from our account. So how do we want to do this? Well, inside collection, we want to say that when the web page loads, so use effect, We want to get the NFT. We want to get the NFTs when the page loads. We're going to add a use effect handler so that we can do that. And this, if we add these two brackets here, this means that this runs like once when the page loads. And we're going to call a function called get user NFTs. Okay. So we're going to call a function get user NFTs, and that's going to be defined over here. So const get user NFTs. It's going to be an async function that looks like this. And we're going to be calling a script. So the way that you do that is you say const result equals await fcl.send, 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 like so, and you're going to say fcl.script, and the script we're passing in is get NFTs, so let's import that, import get NFTs from /cadence/script/get NFTs.js. Boom. And we're going to pass it in here, get NFTs, that's the script. And get NFTs takes in a parameter, it takes in an argument, which is the account. So let's go ahead and let's pass that in. So fcl.args, it looks like this. fcl.arg is going to be props.address. Remember, we proved that that exists down here, and it has a type of t.address. Boom. Okay. And then after it's done, we can say .then fcl.decode, like that. Actually, I think it's just like that, and then we can console.log the result here. So hopefully this works. Let's see if this works. So let's go back to our page. Get NFTs is not exported. So because this is called get NFT script. So get NFTs script. I just misnamed them. Okay, let's go back. So oh look, and we see that it logged in, right? So remember, this runs when the page loads, and so then it got logged to the console here, and look, we can actually see our NFT. So it has a name of Dragon, its ID is 3. In your case, it'll probably be 0, so this will actually be 0 here. I was just messing around with the contract before, so there's some discrepancy between what you might see and what I'm seeing, but you'll see an ID here, you'll see an IPFS hash, Dragon, all awesome, right? We did it, boom. Alright, so that's awesome. So now how do we actually display these? Well, instead of just console logging, why don't we actually store this in some state? So let's say const result, or let's just say const NFTs, set NFTs equal to use state. This is just going to be an empty array. And let's map over these. So instead of printing out the address, let's just say, first of all, let's make this, like I said, I'm terrible at styling, but let's just make this have like a background color of like light green or something, right? That way that we know that this is from the collection component. And let's map through this. So let's say NFTs.map. So we're mapping over the NFTs that we stored, and let's make sure that we're setting NFTs to the results that we get here. Okay, NFTs.map, and then for each NFT, we're going to arrow function. So for each NFT, we're going to basically say we want to do a div block, and inside the div block is going to be I don't know. Let's just do like the NFT.name or NFT.id, and let's see what happens. Oh, I'm so stupid. So I literally just put NFT.id, right? But what I'm trying to show you is that, so what we should do is see for each value, right? So for each one of these objects, right, we're going to print the ID, the hash, the metadata. So that's what we're going to do right here. So this is going to be NFT.id. The next one we can do NFT.IPFS hash. The next one we can do each one, let's say like NFT.metadata.name, because that's what we passed into the metadata earlier in this tutorial, and boom. And so look what we have here. That's super cool. And so it didn't print the IPFS hash for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why. But let's go ahead and fix this error first. So each child in a list should have a key prop. So let's just go ahead and say, I don't know, this has a key of like, how do you do this again? I'll just say the NFT.id, right? That's easy, I guess. So that gets rid of that error, I hope. Uh-oh. That's not good. Cannot read of ADDR. Oh, okay. So in order to fix this error, this is giving us an error because it's saying a user doesn't exist yet. So when we render this collection, let's just say, let's make sure that the user is not nil and user.address is not nil. And if it's not nil, then we'll render the collection component down here. So this is how I sort of like to style this. Otherwise, let's just do like null, so nothing happens. Let's tab this for a sec. Okay, and so boom, we're back. Okay, so now what's the error that's going to give us? Okay, so I don't know why it's not printing the IPFS hash. That's a little weird. It should be doing that right here. NFT.IPFS hash. That's weird that it's not printing that. Okay, that's a little strange. I wish I could ask someone why that might be happening, but am I spelling this wrong? I don't think I am. Oh. Wait, what? IFPS. Oh god, that's why. Okay, yeah. So it's IPFS hash. Okay, boom. So now instead of actually printing the hash here, this hash is the image, right? So we want to convert this into the image. Now, how can we do that? Well, instead of actually printing this, what we can do is say an image tag, and the image equals source slash IPFS slash like that. Is that right? It's right. Yes. Okay, that's right. All right. So boom. Now we have our image. It's on the web page, and so this is our NFT, right? So we read the NFTs from the user, and so we can do this again if we want. And let's mint another one. So let's do healer, choose file, healer card, mint. Let's wait for it to come up. Let's approve. And if we actually go to our console again, and we get the little transaction ID, let's go back to Flowscan and see when this is done. Let's wait a little bit. It went through, and so if we go to our React app, and if we refresh the page again, there it is. There's our healer card. So we've done it. Bam. Okay, so let's add some little stuff to this. So image style equals. God, I'm such a bad coder. This is crazy. But you should not be doing this in your actual stuff. But I'm just gonna do a size here. And I'm gonna make it like, I think I can do this. Can I do this? No. How do I actually make it smaller? Because I want it to be, I don't want it to take up like the entire screen. But okay, I don't know how to do this. But anyway, I guess we'll tackle that at a different time. I'm such a bad programmer. It's crazy. This is proof, by the way, that people that do these YouTube tutorials aren't always like as smart as they think. It's just they're kind enough to do the tutorials, but at the end of the day, we're all the same. We're all just learning, right? Okay. So this is yeah. So we've done the NFTs. Now, for the next part, we want to be able to actually list NFTs for sale and then display what NFTs are actually up for sale. So let's go ahead and do that, right? Because right now this is just a list of all of our NFTs. But we want to be able to, actually. Oh, it just hit me, by the way. I am so, dude. Isn't it this? It's like you do width, right? And that's like 200 pixels. 200 pixels. Isn't it like a width and a height? And then, if I do like, God, I'm so stupid. Okay, wait, how is that not? I swear that's right. Okay, I swear that's right. Alright, I'm sorry. I'm taking too much time. God, this is bugging me. What is it? Oh my god, I'm gonna... Ugh. I don't know what it is. Okay, anyway. Maybe? Okay, so that was the problem. I'm so happy I fixed that. Okay, wow, that is so nice. Okay, huge. That was really bugging me. I'm so happy we fixed that. Okay, so now let's do the part of the video where we don't want to just see their NFTs. We also want to see the ones they're listing for sale, and then we want to do some stuff based on that, right? So let's go and do that. So we want to be able, before we can even do that, we need to be able to list NFTs for sale, right? So we need to be actually be able to like put them on the, like say that it's listed for sale. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's add another button. Let's make a new div thingy. And let's make, actually let's keep some of this here because we're going to need it, right? Let's just do a text here. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to say set ID to e.target.value, and then we're going to say set price. And so so set ID. So the reason we're doing this is because when we list an NFT for sale, we want to type in an ID and a price, right? So let's go ahead and do that. And this is also e.target. So e.target.value, okay? And this is going to be list NFT for sale. And this is going to say list for sale. Perfect. So let's add a new function called const list for sale. List for sale equals async. Bada bing, bada boom. And let's go ahead and copy some of this transaction stuff. If I was a good programmer, we would abstract this a bit, but you know I'm not. Okay, I love that excuse. That's great. So then list for sale transaction, which means we're gonna actually gonna have to create it, and there are going to be arguments here. So the first argument, if we go back to our playground, is list NFTs. So remember, we already did this transaction that was list NFTs for sale, and remember we had an ID and we had a price. So those are the two things we have to pass in. Okay, so the first one is going to be fcl.arg, and this is going to be the what is this? So it's going to be the ID. So let's do that. So the ID, and this is going to have a type of t.un64. Now, little hint, we're going to have to put parse int here because it's going to pass in as a string, but we need it to be as an integer. And the second one is going to be fcl.arg, which is going to be price, which does not have to be that way because for some reason ufix64s are represented as strings. I have no idea why. So that we just keep it like that. So this also means we're going to have to set up some more state. So this one's going to be the ID, and this is going to be set ID, and this is going to be price, and this is going to be set price. Okay, bam. So now that we have done that, this should be set ID, like so. Now that we have done that, we can actually start trying to list for sale, but we need to make this transaction first, right? So let's go ahead and make a new transaction called list for sale.js. Export const list for sale transaction equals backticks, and let's go ahead and copy our transaction in to VS Code. We have to replace this import. Let's go ahead and do that. Do I have it anywhere? Right here I have it. Boom, boom. We can X these out for now. Okay, great. So let's try and run this transaction to list for sale. Let's go into our Explorer, go to our web page. God, I have stuff everywhere. Let's just start closing stuff out. So let's go ahead and refresh this. List for sale transaction is not defined. Let's see why. Oh, because I forgot to import it, right? Yep, of course. So let's go ahead and import it. List for sale transaction. List for sale.js. And let's go ahead and here we are. Perfect. So let's first try to list an NFT for sale that we don't even own, because that should be a problem, right? So let's put in like 5 for the ID, and let's make the price like 30. And let's run this transaction and see what happens. I'm curious, right? So let's approve. Let's go to the inspect, and let's go to console. Let's take in this thingy. Go to Flowscan and explore, and there should be an error, right? Let's hope there's an error. The one time we're actually hoping for an error. Boom. The sale collection owner does not have this NFT. Remember we set that up? Perfect. So it actually worked. So instead, let's actually try and list, I don't know, the healer one. So let's list healer for 30. So let's list this NFT for sale. Let's hope, right? Oh my god. So I really hope this one works. Explore. And if this works, we're going to be golden, let me tell you. I'm praying. I'm so nervous. Oh my god, it worked. Oh my god, I'm so happy, and I'm also the best. Wow, this is the best YouTube video ever. I would definitely like and subscribe, by the way, for sure. So now that we listed it for sale, we want to be able to get all the users sale NFTs that they listed for sale. So again, I already did this before, but it's a lot. So let's go ahead and delete that because I want to do this with you guys. So we're gonna have another script that reads all the NFTs that are up for sale from the account. So not just their normal NFTs, but also the ones that are up for sale. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna return a dictionary that maps the price of the NFT that's up for sale to the reference of that NFT. So if we have Healer that's up for 30 tokens, then it'll map then it's gonna map 30 to that NFT, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So the first thing we need to do is get the sale collection, right? We want to get their sale collection so we can see what's up for sale. So let's do let sale collection equals, I love that auto capitalization, get account, this is the account, misspelled that ish, dot get capability / public / my sale collection, and this is right here. So remember we listed it to / public / my sale collection. So bada bing bada boom. If we can't, then we want to borrow it and say if this is going to be a reference to a NFT Marketplace dot sale collection that is linked to NFT Marketplace dot sale collection public, and I'm getting that from the fact that when we linked to the public here, we did NFT collection and then we said NFT Marketplace dot sale collection public. Okay. So let's go back and let's go back to our script, and then if we can't do this, just say panic could not borrow the user's sale collection. Boom. All right. So now the next thing we want to do is get all the IDs that are up for sale. So let's say let IDs or let sale IDs equals sale collection dot get IDs, and that will get all the IDs that are up for sale in that sale collection. Perfect. Now to get rid of all this error, let's just return vals again, and let's just set let return vals equal to an empty dictionary, and oh god, empty dictionary, and it's going to say, hey, you need to type, and so let's just bring this type down. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so we have the sale IDs, and now we want to basically get the price of that sale ID, and we want to map it to the actual NFT that it represents, right? So what we can say is for sale ID in sale IDs, we first want to get the price, so let price equal sale collection dot get price with that sale ID, and then we want to say let the NFT reference equal the person's collection, which we don't have, so let's go ahead and get that from the other script that we did, right? Because we already figured out how to get the public collection. So let's just add that down here. Let's just add the collection like so, and let's say equals that person's collection dot borrow entire NFT and pass in that sale ID. And now this gets the reference to that NFT. And so now what we can do is we can say return vals dot insert. The key is going to be the price, and the value is going to be the NFT reference. And just like that, we're pretty much legends. I mean, that's what we are. And so I wonder if I could even test this out, but anyway, yeah. So this is fine. I'm pretty sure it would work if we did this in an actual example. So what we can do now is we can copy and paste all of this, bring it into scripts, and we're going to say get sale NFTs.js, export const get sale NFTs script equals backticks. Paste this in. We need to replace our imports here, of course. So let's go ahead and do that. So this is the marketplace. NFT is the same address. A non-fungible token. Have we done that anywhere else that I could get it from? Okay, right here. So non-fungible token. Let's just get that and bring it in. So bam. Okay. So now let's set up a transaction to call get sale NFTs, and we're going to do that in a new component. So we're going to have another component called sale collection. So let's do sale collection. And this is going to be the same thing as collection, except it's only going to return the ones that are actually up for sale, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So let's make a new component here, and it's very possible I'm missing something along the way, but we'll go ahead and fix that when the time comes. So let's just get what we did from collection, because a lot of this is going to be useful. And we're going to change, now we're in sale collection, so let's change all this to sale collection, sale collection. Let's change this to get, we're going to change this to get sale NFTs, which means this is going to be get sale NFT script. All right. This is the NFTs. Let's see what we want to. So get user sale NFTs, just to make things more clear, right? Get sale NFT script, passing in the address. Let's make this one light blue so that we can differentiate it. Light blue. And it's all the same stuff. Okay. Get user sale, and so this should work. This would be miraculous if it worked the first try, of course. But yeah, so then we have the mapping, right? And so this mapping is going to be, it's going to return a dictionary, not just like an array, right? So let's go ahead and actually like see what it's going to return beforehand. Now it says sale collection is not defined. It's probably because I haven't imported it, right? Yep, I never imported it. So import sale collection from, oops, what the heck, from /sale collection.js. Okay, and then here we are. So sale collection is not defined. So where is that a problem? Oh, it says NFTs.map is not a function. Interesting. So I wonder why that's not a function. Oh, it's because we're returning a dictionary, right? So let's go ahead and just comment this out for now. Like that, because we want to be able to see stuff. So this is what's getting printed, right? So it's getting so 30 is getting mapped to this NFT here, and so some of you may be wondering, like, in this example, this doesn't really make sense, right? Because if multiple NFTs have the same price, it's going to map to the same thing. And yes, that answer is true. It's just that I'm sort of, we could really get into like a lot of this, but I'm mapping the price of the NFT to the actual NFT here. I know I'm an idiot. I shouldn't have done that, but that's just what we're going to do, because I'm trying to keep this example as simple as possible. And you've seen that even then this is like super complicated. But at the end of the video, I'll fix this so that it's not like, because we could overwrite the price for different NFTs, right? But let's just work with what we have, okay? So we have this sort of dictionary, and so what we want to say is, instead of mapping over, what we can do is we can say NFTs.keys.map, and so this is mapping over all the keys, and so this is going to be a price, right? And so we can say, we'll probably have to get rid of most of this, but let's just go through this. So we're mapping through the keys, and so this is going to be the price. And so what we can do is we can say let the key just equal the price or something, and then what we're going to log here is NFTs. So NFTs at the price dot ID. That should work. Okay, and same thing with these ones. So let's just do like that and that, and let's see if this works. So NFTs.keys.map is not a function. So I think, okay, maybe is it like object.key? Is it like this? God, I haven't done this in a second. Uh-oh. Let's look this up together, right? So oh, that's why. Okay, so it's object. God, that's embarrassing. NFTs. And I still don't even know if it's gonna work. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's working, it's working. Okay, yeah, so look, so this is up for sale. And remember, it's just doing the healer because that's the one that we enlisted for sale, right? We didn't list the other one for sale. And so let's also just do like a price. So like H1, the price is just the price. I still can't believe how much of an idiot I am that I mapped the price to the thing. Anyway, so that's that. Oh god. Oh god. All right. I still can't believe how much of an idiot I am that I mapped the price to the thing. Because oh god, I'm so stupid. Should we just fix that now? Because it's gonna get really annoying if we don't fix that. So God, that's gonna get so annoying if I don't fix that. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Do I just want to map it the other way? Should I just do it this way? I'm trying to think of what are the problems with this, but let's just fix this around. Um, yeah, I know you couldn't do that. Shoot, man. Okay. How about we map a UN64 to a mapping of the. Oh god, oh god, oh god, I'm such an idiot. So let's just go ahead and replace this, and then we'll say the key is the NFT ref.id, and the value is going to be a mapping from oh my god. Okay, we're just gonna ignore this for now. I'm not gonna do this. I'll go through this at the end of the video for anyone's curious, but let's just keep it like this for now, okay? I know I'm an idiot, but let's just keep it like that. So that means that every time we list something for sale, it has to be different price. Okay, so let's just do it as an example. Let's list the dragon for sale. So let's do dragon. No, it's 3, and the price is gonna be 10, right? So let's just do 10. List NFT for sale. Let's list it for sale. Approve. Let's wait for this to go through. I wonder if probably have to refresh a few times, but it should go through. There you go. So now it's listed for sale. Super, super awesome. Now we want a way to delist from sale too, right? So let's go ahead and add a way to delist. We don't even have that transaction yet, but we could probably do that pretty easily if we just add a new transaction called unlist from sale. I'm pretty sure that would just be exactly the same thing as list for sale, just like the other way around. So we don't take in a price, right? We do unlist from sale, and that just takes in the ID, and then we just say a user unlisted an NFT from sale. So if we copy and paste this, bring it into our thing here, transactions, unlist from sale.js, export const unlist from sale transaction. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's get the import correct. We did it. Let's go back into sale collection. And we can, oh no, so we'd have to do this inside of app.js, right? So let's just add like another thing that we could add called like, you know, unlist an NFT from sale. Let's just do like unlist from sale, and let's just pretty much copy and paste this transaction here and say unlist from sale. This is going to be, we need to import this again. I mean, in retrospect, we probably could have just put this all into one file and it would have been a lot easier, but yeah, I mean, like I've said a billion times, I do tend to be kind of an idiot. And also, here's a theory I have. The closer you, like, when you're the one recording, it's so much harder to think. Like, if I was just doing this on my own, I'd probably be able to do this, but it's so much harder when you're, like, actually under pressure. Transaction. Okay, cool. So, and we don't pass in a price, right? So let's just pass in the ID. So let's go here. React app, are there no errors? That's such a beautiful thing. Let's just type in like 4. Let's try and unlist the healer one, unlist from sale, and let's see if this goes through. Approve. And we can wait a sec. Let's just take this transaction hash, put it into the block explorer. Let's wait for it to go through. And let's see what happens. All right. So if we refresh the page, it's no longer listed for sale. We unlisted it. Perfect. Okay. Alrighty then. So what we want to do next is we want to be able to So right now what's happening in this application is it's only like showing us like our stuff, right? Like it's using our address and using our address alone. What we can do instead is instead of just using our address, we can just pass in a different address that we're curious about, right? So let's go to app.js and let's add a new thing here called const I don't know, address, and say set address equals use state. And what we can do is add another little button called, let's just make a new div block, right? God. Okay, so let's just make a new div block. This is going to be text, and this is going to be set address to the text, and then the button is going to be, yeah, this is fine. Well, yeah, this is fine. Okay. I think. So how do we want to do this? So we want to basically say that you put in the address and then you click a button and then it sets it to that address, right? Okay, so let's just say like when we click the button, so there's going to be a button here and we're going to say on click. We're going to basically set. God, I'm such a bad programmer. How would you do this? I guess you would say like set official address. Oh man, oh man. So set official address to the value of address. Oh my god. Okay, and then we'll add another thing here called like so official address set official. Okay, don't make fun of me. I'm trying so hard. So to the address here. Okay, and then we're going to basically say that whatever is in here, so and official address, right? Then we're going to pass in official address here. All right, I guarantee there's going to be so many terrible things that happen here. So expected address for type address. Oh. Well, okay. Yeah. So so official address and official address does not equal like that. So let's go back and do this. Okay, so there's an error here. What's the error? The error is yeah, so it's trying to do this ahead of time. So how do I stop it from doing that? Okay. So set. So I don't know why it's doing this. Oh, it's because I also have to add those restrictions down here, right? Perfect. Oh my god, yes. So then we're gonna, okay, so then inside here, we're gonna put search, right? So search, okay. So right now, nothing comes up, right? But if we want to search for a specific account, let's search for the account we were just using, right? So let's put in this one and do search. Yay! Right, so we searched and it did the account. Yes. Okay, so if we do search again, then nothing happens, right? But I'm pretty sure if we like put in something random, it's gonna give an error, right? Yeah, okay. So just don't do that. Okay, so like I said, we're just working on like basic functionality here. Okay, so now that we have that, we can actually set up a way to actually like purchase certain stuff. Okay, so inside of sale collection, what we want to do is we also want to add a button inside the mapping. So you want to add a button here that basically says like purchase this NFT. And so what this is going to do is we can add an on-click handler here to call a function called purchase, and we're going to pass in you know, the ID. So we're going to pass in NFTs at price.id. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to pass that in, and then we're going to have a function called get constant purchase equals async blah blah blah. Alrighty then, and then we're going to do all that cool transaction stuff that we had before. So let's go ahead and do that, right? So let's go ahead and copy this cool transaction stuffs, purchase it in here, and we're going to say purchase transaction. Of course, we haven't done that yet. LOL. And we're going to add a function here called, if you haven't noticed, by the way, I'm slowly losing it, but you know, that's just part of the deal with a 2-hour YouTube tutorial. So we're going to go back and get the purchase. So where, do we ever even have purchase? Oh, we never even made purchase. Okay, so we got to add that too. So let's go ahead and add a purchase transaction. So we can just get some the base sort of transaction stuff here, but let's just delete everything so that we're starting from nothing. So a user purchased an NFT. Okay, and so now how do we want to do this? So we want to, first of all, we want to get the sale collection first. So let's go ahead and do that. And we've already done that over here, right? So this is sort of getting a public sale collection. So we can do that and bring that over into this transaction. So to get the public sale collection. And to do that, we need to also pass in an account. So the account is going to be the address that we're going to be purchasing from. All right. And so we also need to import NFT Marketplace from 0x05. Perfect. Okay. And we also pass in the ID that we want to purchase, right? And so then what we can say is sale collection dot purchase and pass in the ID. Now we need two other things: the recipient collection and payment. So recipient collection, let's see what it's expecting. So it's expecting a recipient collection that has this type and a payment. Okay, so the recipient collection is a my.nft.collection with this restriction for it. So again, this looks like a public reference, and we know how to do that again because in this example we've already done that here. So we can just get this public collection and bring that into our transaction. So let's just name this to recipient because collection. This is what we're going to be passing in, and this is, I think it's of type. I think it's of this type. So can't get a user's collection. Okay, and we also need to import my NFT from 0x02, and also import non-fungible token from 0x1. Yeah. Okay, and then we also need payment. So then this is new. So we're going to say let payment, and this is basically we need to get the price. You know, we need to get the price from the that this NFT is worth, and then we need to withdraw that from our basically account. So first of all, let's get the price equals sale collection dot get price with for this ID, and then we're going to say let payment. This is going to be a resource account dot borrow from /storage/ now I don't know this actually, but it's in flowtoken.cdc because we're paying in flow token, and I'm pretty sure it's /storage/ flow token vault. So /storage/ flow token vault, and we're going to borrow a flow token vault. Now of course we have to import that ish as well. So import flow token from 0x04. And boom. So then we actually, so this is the flow token vault. Now we have to withdraw the amount, which is the price. All right. And that's the payment. And then we can move the payment into the function like that. And this says mismatched types. So I wonder why that's a mismatched type. Oh, and then we have to say, okay, so as, like so, boom. Okay, so this works. So now we had the typecast to do add flow token vault because payment was expecting a flow token vault to come into its function call. Because if we go back, we remember the payment is a flow token vault, but when you actually withdraw, so this is in the flow token contract. When you actually withdraw, it gives you a fungible token vault. So we had to just typecast it like so. And I really hope this doesn't give us any errors, but let's just pray. So let's take this and let's go back to our thingy here, and we can say export const purchase transaction equals backticks, paste it in, and we got to do a bunch of replacing as always. When do we not? Am I right? So let's just do some replacing. So NFT like that, and then we also need to get flow token somehow. So where do I get flow token from? Right here. Boom. All right, And then, now we have our purchasing. So we can purchase, we pass in the ID. We also have to pass in the account. So remember, that's the first one. So fcl.org, the account that we want to buy from. So the account will be, the account that we're buying from is obviously the one that we're like looking at. So that's just props.address. And then this is going to be t.address, right? Cool beans. And then comma. Okay. So this should be able to actually purchase. Now I'm a little nervous for sure, but I think this should be fine. Oh, so then purchase takes in an ID, right? So this takes in an ID. So then that's the ID that we're using. Oh, I guess let me rename it. Oh no, this is fine, right? Okay, yeah, that's good. So let's go to our website. Purchase transaction is not defined. Okay. Have to import that as well. Can't forget about that part. Purchase transaction from /transactions/purchase.js. Now I swear I'm so praying that this works, but let's just try it. Now here's the thing, right? So the thing is that we don't want to purchase from ourselves, right? Because that wouldn't really make any sense. So we want to purchase from a different account, and so in order for me to do that, I kind of have to set up another account, and I'm thinking about how I want to do that. So I guess let's do that. I guess let's just do this together. So let me just log in. Let's make a new account for me. I don't know. I've never really done this before. So CoolKit. Okay, so let's just use another account. What other email do I want to use? I don't know. Let's just use I have this one email that I love actually. It's called Delord Snake. I made this when I was like, I think I made this when I was like 8 years old, and now it's just a spam account. But delordsnake@gmail.com. So hey, if you want to send me some NFTs, send it to Delord Snake. There you go. But let me actually, I got to go to my email now and look at like what and by the way, if you think you're fancy, you're not, because I don't even use this account anymore. But let's go to 487-508, and here's my new address. So bam, confirm. So here's my new address, right? And so on this address, let's actually set up. So let's actually mint some NFTs into this account, right? So we're logged in, and we want to mint some NFTs. So I don't know. Let's just mint like a what's the other one I have in here? Oh, a mage. Let's mint a mage. I want a mage. Mint a mage. And mint. Oh, it's not going to work because we have to set up our collection, right? So we can't do that yet. So we have to set up the user first. So let's set up the user. And by the way, I guess this is proof that the application works for multiple people. So let's set up the user. Let's go and make sure that this is working. Explore. Is it setting up the user? I hope so. Bam, a success. And now we can mint our little mage. So let's mint our mage card. Approve. Oh yeah. Here's our new transaction ID. Explore. Executed. Alrighty. So let's actually, we can view our account if we copy and paste our address and search for it. Hey, we can see our mage card. Let's go. And now we want to list it for sale, right? So let's actually list 5. What's this one? Oh, the price, right? Let's just do like, I don't know, 2. No, let's do like 100. And let's list it for sale. And 5 is, remember, that's the ID right there. Okay, let's go. Here's the transaction ID. Let's go take a look at it. Bada bing, bada boom. By the way, I just realized I could also probably be console logging the URL, right? But okay, yeah, so we listed it for sale. And it's listed for, so we have to search for this account again. Let's go search for the account. And it's listed for sale. Woo, 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 woo. All right, so now let's keep this address. Okay, let's keep this address, and let's log out and log back into CoolKid. So let's go into Blocto, and let's go back into CoolKid. Oh God, what's the email again? Oh my God. CoolKid is 13070. 13070 @gmail.com. Sign in. And I gotta go. Oh, let's go to my emails again, right? This should be fun. Oh, Blocto, yay. 751105. 751105. Yes, my memory is that good. Confirm. And so we want to search for, okay, so they already did it for it, but like let's say we wanted to search. Okay, now we're viewing the other account, right? So the price is 100. So let's actually purchase this NFT and literally just pray that it works. I mean, that's pretty much what's going on here. Okay. So we can here, let me put this address down somewhere in case I need to copy and paste it again. But let's go view this transaction hash. Oh my god, it went through. Oh my god, it went through. Did it work? When does it? Oh wait, no, I don't think it did. Um, okay, so it didn't go through for some reason. So why did it not go through? So this is weird. Huh. Wait, maybe it did though. Wait, did it not go through? Or did I just click on the wrong thing? Wait, let's uh wait, what's going on? Oh, there's probably like a bug in my code. There's probably a bug in my code, right? Let's try and purchase this again. What's it running? So 5. Okay, let's approve. There might just be a bug in my code that's not letting it work. Let's go and look at it. So the authorizer is 405. That's me, right? 405. I mean, this should work. I'd be really confused if it didn't. Oh, wait, no. Oh, well, let's go to the views. Oh, no, it is working because look, it's taking payment away from my Flow account. So, what? Okay, I'm completely stumped. I might have to take a break and come back and figure this out offline. Yep, I'm gonna figure this out offline. Okay, I figured out the problem. Oh my god, I am so silly. So inside the purchase transaction, the reason this didn't work is because it's because so the person signing this transaction, right? The person that's going to be purchasing is account, right? Is the auth account. So they're purchasing. So they're the one that should be getting the NFT, right? But look what we're doing. We're saying the recipient collection is the person that we're passing in. So this should be account.address. So that the recipient person is the person that is buying, right? This person. So not the person that we're passing in. The person that we're passing in is the sale collection. So if we make that change, if we go in here and just say account.address, then it should work. So let's go back and let's try this again. So let's go into here. And by the way, the reason I figured that out was because, you know, in the view source, I could see the payment was being taken out. We were just putting it into the wrong person. We were basically just taking it out and putting it right back. So if we go and get the this address here, remember that's the other account. Let's search for them, and we can purchase this NFT. And remember, we're signed in on this account, which is, you know, who we're purchasing from. So if we purchase and we approve, let's get this transaction hash. Let's go and explore. Okay. Hopefully this goes through. Success, let's go. And now if we search this person again, well, let's refresh the page. Okay, so they don't have, I guess, oh no, sorry, I just copy and pasted the transaction hash. So I need to get the address again. Oh, I actually signed out. Oh no. Okay, so let's log in. Cool kid. Okay, so search. And now there's an error for some reason. So maybe because that's just how it's written. I don't know. But anyway, the point is, let's go to our address, search for it, and we have Mage now. Yay! Yay! So we have Mage now because we purchased it, right? But the other account has nothing. So we took from them, we bought from them, get pooped on, search. I guess there's just a bug in the code that's just like gonna return error or something. But anyway, and you can see that the payment went through because now it's 1700 instead of 1800, right? So the payment actually went through. So this is, I guess, like the conclusion of this video, right? We've pretty much set up an NFT marketplace, right? Because anyone can publish their NFTs, right? By minting their own NFTs, and then they can list it for sale if they wanted to. Now, of course, the UI isn't amazing. I mean, look at this. Like, it's not the best, but it works, and that's kind of the point. Now I do want to try and figure out why, like, if I search this, it's not working. So failed to, oh, it's something in here, right? Because when we get the user sale IDs, they don't have any, and so it's trying to like do something, but yeah, I mean that's just for a different time, but you kind of get the point. The point is that they don't have anything anymore, right? So if I was to then log out and then log into the other one, right? So let's just go to like dolordsnake@gmail.com. Let's sign back in. Let's I'm looking at my email right now to look at the to get the code. It's 483640, and let's now we're in our account. Let's mint another one. I don't know. Let's mint like another healer. I don't know. Healer card mint. Let's wait for this to mint. Approve. Boom. So let's go to Flowscan. Let's wait for this to go through. It went through. Now if we take our address, and now it shouldn't give an error now, right? Because we actually have something, so, oh, never mind. What? Oh, well, okay. So it's something to do with like the sale collection, because we're getting the user sale NFT IDs. It's probably returning nothing, and then it's like, well, we can even see it, right? Like, if we search for this, what's getting logged? Yeah. Anyway, that sort of wraps things up. I don't really have anything else. Oh, the only thing that we did wanted to touch on was like, how can we make this better so that when we're listing for sale, or when we're getting this stuff, we're not mapping the price to the NFT. What actually might be better is if in here we have something called like a public struct sale item, right? And in here you have public let price ufix64, and this is like the actual way to do it. Public let ref is a at my nft dot ref or dot nft, and then you just have an init here that takes in a price is a ufix64 and a ref, which is just a at my nft dot nft, and then you just say self dot price equals price self dot ref equals ref, and then inside of here, we would basically like redeploy this contract, right? It's going to be buggy because it's all screwed up, but and now my playground's not loading. Okay, so let's just deploy all these again. I'm going to put a thing saying you don't have to watch this part of the video, by the way, because I know this is like super boring, but the video is 2 hours anyway. Like, what's an extra 10 minutes? So then we'll just say, instead of all this stupid stuff, I was just trying to find a way to get around it. You would just say like NFT Marketplace dot sale item, right? And then in here you would just say sale item, or NFT Marketplace dot sale item, and then you would pass in the price is the price and the ref is the NFT ref, right? And then that would work, and then this would just, you would replace this here. So that's like the actual way to do it. I was trying to find a way to do it without doing that, but I kind of like that better anyway. It makes more sense. And then in the code, instead of mapping over the price, you would map over a sale item, and then it would be pretty simple, right? You would just put like I don't know, or sorry, you would be mapping over like dot keys. So the keys would be mapping over the NFT IDs. So this would actually be an NFT ID here. Um, and then you could put the like that, and then you could just do like equals. So the price is like NFTs at NFTID dot price, right? So and then you would make the other changes here. But anyway, I'm going on for too long here. This pretty much concludes how to do the NFT marketplace. And if you've watched all the way through, how about this? If you've watched all the way through, comment comment my name backwards in the comment section, and I'll know you're a real one. Okay, comment that in you're a real one. And if you have any feedback about videos like this, it was maybe terrible. I don't know, but if you enjoyed this type of content, let me know. And I really hope this was helpful, even though it was kind of all over the place. But that's it. I'm out. So thank you.